just need to get our monitor.
Sorry, it's not laughable. He said it couldn't be worse. It could be all monitors. I know. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah. That's okay.
Ready?
Yeah, we're good. We can't see our two monitors. Ours are down, so it may take me a minute to record the vote on it.
Okay. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our regular meeting of the Irving City Council for December 12th, 2024. It's a pleasure to have each and every one of you with us this evening. The first item on our agenda is our organizational service announcements. Shanae, do we have anyone signed up with an announcement?
Yes, sir. Deborah Fleck, and she knows the 3-minute rule. Ms. Fleck?
Hello, Council, City Manager, Mayor, and City staff. I'm Deborah Fleck. I'm Vice Chair of the Irving Arts Board, and I'm here to share some news about the arts and culture and events in Irving. First, a quick update about what's going on at our Smithsonian-affiliated Irving Arts Center, which has been transformed into a wonderland of decorated Christmas trees, which are on view through December 31st. This is the 32nd year of this holiday tradition at the Irving Arts Center, with visits from Santa the next 2 Saturdays. Upcoming performances include the musical Hope in the Heartland, with performances tonight through Sunday in the Dupree Theater. In Carpenter Hall this weekend, we have the Irving Symphony Orchestra's Home for the Holidays concert. And on Sunday, December 15th, we have Singing for Joy, presented by the New Philharmonic Orchestra of Irving. The following Saturday, December 21, the Las Colinas Symphony Orchestra will perform its holiday concert. So 3 upcoming concerts for you. We also have a brand new exhibit at the Irving Arts Center that just opened this past weekend in the Dupree Lobby Gallery, featuring the work of author and illustrator Lei Win Pham. It's a wonderful exhibition organized and toured by the National Center for Children's Illustrated Literature, which is based in Abilene. We have a brand new exhibit at the award-winning Irving Archives and Museum, which makes its debut this weekend. We invite you to join us this Saturday, December 14th at 1 p.m. for an opening reception for the Smithsonian National Traveling Exhibition, Japanese War Brides Across the Wide Divide. And finally, we will be commemorating Irving's 121st birthday at the Irving Archives and Museum next Thursday, December 19th. We'll have refreshments, store sales, and of course, Irving history, and there will be other prizes. The first 10 people to make a purchase at the museum store will receive a free Irving-opoly game. There's even more going on the next couple of weeks, and we hope you will take the time out of your busy schedules to pay us a visit. Thank you for your support of Irving Arts and Culture. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. At this time, if you'd please stand. The invocation this evening will be given by Pastor Leon Atkins from the First Marine Memorial Church in Irving, Texas.
Good evening, Irvingites. Please join me now as I lead us in a word of prayer. Our God and Father, we have learned from your word that we should approach your presence with thanksgiving. And we want to thank you for all that you are and for all the good things that you shower in our lives. We want to thank you for the privilege of living here in this beautiful city of Irving. We thank you for the freedom that we enjoy to have a meeting like this because of lawful assembly. We thank you for these council members who are working to keep Irving a great place to live and to make it even better. And we want to thank you for all the Irvingites who have turned out for this meeting. And we pray for a really great meeting. We pray for wisdom and understanding, and that whatever decisions are made here will be honoring to you and will be for the good of the people of Irving. We would be remiss if we didn't pray for all those who work so hard and even up to putting themselves in harm's way to keep Irving safe. We want to pray for all those in law enforcement, firefighters, paramedics, and of course those in military. We pray for their safety and protection and victory over evil forces. And we want to, again, pray for wisdom for all concerned, and we pray for a great meeting. And we ask all of these things in the name of Jesus of Nazareth, your prophet, and indeed more than a prophet, the only mediator between God and man, and the Savior of all men, the one who gives eternal life for all those who receive it by faith in him. And it is in his name that we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Atkins. If you'd please remain standing, Councilman Taylor will lead us in the pledges.
Place your hand over your heart and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Kyle. At this time, we would entertain public comments. Sinead, do we have residents who would like to speak this evening?
Yes, sir, we do. Public comments provides the opportunity to our citizens to address the council on items that are not listed on the regular agenda. The council will listen, but they will not respond as they are restricted from deliberation by the Texas Open Meeting Act. While the mayor and council may not respond, you are welcome to contact them directly. Their phone numbers and emails are listed on the website, and a meeting can be requested. If your comments require a response, the follow-up will be handled by the communications team. Each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes, and I will let you know when 1 minute is left. Please state your name and address prior to your comments. A professional presentation is requested. Any handouts you wish to provide to the council members should be given to the police officers on either side of the chambers. Please do not approach the dais. Our first speaker is Laura Anderson, followed by Brian Howard.
Good evening, gentlemen. I'm Laura Anderson, 24-year employee with the City of Irving as the municipal judge. And as you know, you failed to reappoint me back on October and instead appointed a judge from Dallas. I understand that part of the reason that you released me because you believe that we shouldn't be magistrating prisoners. And so I just want you to know that that policy that you considered new is not new. Back 2 years ago, one of the jail lieutenants decided we were no longer going to magistrate prisoners. And I just want to read from his email one of the comments. He said, "The only mandate that I'm aware of is the need to be magistrated and assigned counsel within 48 hours. Gentlemen, that is not the law. 1517 of the Code of Criminal Procedure requires the police department to bring the arrested before a Dallas County magistrate without a necessary delay. You don't have 48 hours. And so when Judge Adams and I had a relationship with Chief Miller, we went over there and told him he tried it within a week. That policy was stopped. Talked to Chief Miller and Chief Steele and told him he was breaking the law, and that was stopped. Fast forward 2 years, here comes the policy again. How did that happen? The police chief needs an independent legal counsel. He doesn't have that. And because he doesn't have that, he's been given false legal advice through the city attorney's office. On May 1st, they started the policy. On May 10th, there was a lady arrested. She sat in there for 56 hours on Sunday morning on Mother's Day. I wrote to both the police chief and the city attorney and told them that they were breaking the law. Instead of stopping the policy, the chief did what he was supposed to do and requested a meeting with the city attorney's office. And then the next day they called Judge Adams in. He wasn't told that it was breaking the law. Sir, it's still breaking the law. The law, if you look at 1517 of the Code of Criminal Procedure, says that those people, when they're arrested, have the right to be brought before a magistrate. We are sending people down to Dallas County at the average of 336 people a month, and we are paying for it. So Dallas County is having to do away with the overpopulation, and we are paying for every person that is being sent down there, and they're having to stay in our jail longer than they would had we been able to magistrate them.
3 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And gentlemen, I did send you an email, so it has the information. Here's the book that has all the law about the independent state
Brian
court.
Howard, followed by Kevin Morrow.
All right, good evening, Mayor Stauffer, Mr. Hillman, Mr. Uman, Ms. Jennings, and City Council members. It was a privilege to meet with several of you last Thursday at the Blue Zone Roundtable discussion. So several of you may recall that my business is placing healthy vending machines at no cost throughout Irving and Las Colinas. We heard about many Blue Zone projects, and of course, many of them had a high price tag. However, my proposal that is being passed out to you right now lays out in a very comprehensive manner, so I'm not going to cover the whole thing at this time. But it does not have a price tag, and it aligns perfectly well with city health goals. Again, my name is Brian Howard. Some of you may know my late father, Clinton Howard. He was the founding president of the Irving Hospital Authority when, in 1964, Irving's first hospital opened up. And with his same heart to make health accessible to Irving residents, I also want to make healthy choices in our vending machines convenient and accessible with city employees. Those of you who heard Margaret Brown at the Blue Zone Project, community event, she emphasized several times that in order for community change to happen, for community wellness to take place, then the healthy choice has to be the easy choice. And so that's where I come in. That's what I'm hoping to do, is to replace machines that carry currently candy bars, sodas, and chips with I'm sorry, I keep getting real close to the machine, to the mic, with machines that offer healthier options as well. Now, my hope is that this is going to cause a ripple effect to Irving residents. If the city employees have healthier options, then my hope is they will take that home with them. And so healthy habits at work will then become family habits. On page 2 of the proposal, I outlined placing 12 vending machines in 12 high-traffic city facilities. On page 3, you'll find details about revenue share, which includes donating a portion to Irving Cares, to expand community access to healthier options. And additionally, we're happy with Mr. Taylor's parameters to donate non-perishable snacks that are approaching their best buy date. to Irving Cares as well. Our machines also have a branding that are not advertising soda companies. They're instead advertising city landmarks and different things that,
3 minutes.
like the city logo and everything. Okay, I think I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you. Kevin Morrow.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Kevin Morrow, and I have had the pleasure of calling Irving my home for 60 years. 39 of those years I've resided in the Heritage District. Tonight I stand before you as a representative of the South Irving Task Force, a group of dedicated and concerned citizens who care deeply about the safety and well-being of our community. You will each have a photograph of the sidewalk under the bridge, which I'm going to speak about, against the wall.
Can you please state your address, Mr. Morrow?
Excuse me?
Can you please state your address? Where you live, your address.
511 South Delaware.
Thank you.
And we are here tonight to discuss some significant safety concerns regarding the planned mural on O'Connor Road, specifically under the train bridge. While the mural promises to bring vibrant art and beauty to our neighborhood, there are pressing issues that we must address to ensure the safety of both pedestrians and motorists in this area. The narrow sidewalks along O'Connor Road present a considerable risk to pedestrians. With the added attraction of the mural, we can anticipate an increase in foot traffic, which, without proper safety measures, could lead to dangerous situations. The lack of protective barriers leaves someone could fall off the curb and into traffic. Moreover, the automobile traffic on O'Connor Road adds another layer of concern. The road is already busy, and the presence of the mural might inadvertently divert drivers' attention, increasing the likelihood of accidents. As such, it is imperative that we take proactive steps to mitigate these risks. I propose the installation of safety rails along the sidewalks to provide a protective barrier for pedestrians. These rails would act as a safeguard, ensuring that people can enjoy the mural without fear of being struck by out-of-control vehicles. Additionally, these rails could help channel any errant vehicles back onto the road, minimizing the risk of collisions and enhancing overall safety. By implementing these measures, we can create a safer environment for everyone while still embracing the artistic and cultural benefits that the mural will bring to our community.
1 minute.
It is crucial that we prioritize the safety of our residents and visitors, ensuring that they can experience the beauty of the mural without compromising their well-being. Thank you for your time and consideration.
That's all, Mayor.
Chris, did you have anything to say? So the next item on our agenda is the consent agenda, which is items 2 through 50. Please note that item 9 and 27 will be postponed to a future meeting. Is there any questions?
So moved.
Entertain a motion. We have a motion and a second. Would you please vote? And it passes unanimously. We have some individual consideration items. Item number 51 is a public hearing and designating approximately 33.9328 acres of land as tax abatement reinvestment zone number 62. Sinead, do we have anyone signed up on this one?
No, sir.
Are there any questions of the council?
Motion for approval?
We have a motion and a second. Would you please vote? And it passed unanimously. Item number 52 is a resolution approving a tax abatement agreement between the City of Irving and Quality Technologies Services, LLC, QTS Irving DC3, LLC, QTS Irving DC4, LLC, QTS Irving DC5, LLC, and QTS Irving DC6, LLC, in the amount depending upon the annual qualifications. Sinead, do we have anyone signed up on this one?
No, sir.
I'd entertain a motion if there's no questions.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Would you please vote? And it passes unanimously. Item number 53 is a resolution approving a tax abatement agreement between the City of Irving and Microsoft Corporation in the amount depending upon the annual qualifications. If there's no discussion on this, I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Would you please vote? And it passes unanimously. Item number 54 is approving amendment number 1 to the amended and restated economic development incentive agreement between the City of Irving and Quality Technology Services, LLC, in the amount depending upon the qualifications. There's no discussion on this one. I would also entertain a motion.
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Would you please vote? And it passes unanimously. Item number 55 is ordinance taking any necessary action related to the vacancy of the municipal court judge. Sinead, do we have anyone signed up to speak on this item?
We do. Ms. Laura Anderson.
Has there been an ordinance prepared? The action that they're going to take?
Yes, there
You're
has.
Yeah, and you're just signed up to speak, so make your comment. You have 3 minutes, please.
It did pass? Is
There-
that what you said?
You have 3 minutes to speak before the mayor and council take any action.
Good afternoon. Again, Laura Anderson. I talked to you earlier about the policy. I want to talk to you about the state independent court. Again, I've sent you a copy of the book with all the law, including why we magistrate. As soon as we become municipal judges under 209, it says municipal judges are Dallas County magistrates. And as a magistrate, we are bound to preserve and protect the citizens of Dallas County by setting reasonable conditions and bail. Just like when we sign warrants, we sign them as Dallas County magistrates. The law, again, is 1517 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. What is happening since May is that the judges were not given the information to magistrate prisoners, so people are being kept in jail. How did that happen? In January, the city attorney took over the position of the police legal advisor. It used to be an independent person. It was a police officer. They have an incompetent attorney who keeps giving Chief Miller false advice, including denying a court order from Judge Adams, a standing order, and preventing the jailers from allowing people to be released with medical issues until the morning because he was told that it was a violation, and it wasn't a violation. It actually, they said it increased liability. It actually denied liability because it was a standing order. I wrote a 12-page paper explaining why it was okay to do
Minute
that.
left.
And the assistant city attorney, Sarah Walker, met with Judge Adams and I. As soon as we walked in, she said, "We understand you have a court order. We're not going to follow it. That's the chief's decision, and that's it." There has been no communication between Chief Miller and I since the city attorney took over the independent police legal advisor. They've gotten in the way of our relationship with you, which should have been a separate relationship, but instead, the city attorney came in and picked who the judge was going to be and allowed the headhunter to allow the police chief and the city attorney the opportunity to pick who the next judge was. There's no independence. judiciary in the city of Irving. And I'm going to keep talking until
You. Cut on Michael.
y'all fix it.
Okay.
I have a motion.
Al has a motion.
Item number 55. I make a motion to approve the ordinance appointing Jeffrey Cornell as municipal court judge to fill an unexpired 2-year term which commenced on October 1, 2024.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Would you please vote? And it passes unanimously. Next on our agenda is our zoning cases and companion items. At this time, if anyone wishes to speak, if you'd please stand and be sworn in by our City Secretary, Shanae Jennings.
Please stand and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will, do you solemnly swear or affirm that all the statements which you will make tonight to the City Council of the City of Irving will be the truth and nothing but the truth? Thank you. You may be seated.
The first zoning case is item number 56, which is 2024-255 PL, considering a preliminary final plat for estate addition, addition 9.997 acres located at the southwest corner of Levita Boulevard and Caldwell Boulevard. Shanae, do we have anyone wishing to speak?
The owner's representative, Mr. Brian Barrow.
Are there any questions of the applicant? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to approve? Second.
We have a motion and a second. Would you
Can
please
I
vote?
clarify for a second? The resolution be adopted per the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission?
Yes, that's right.
Thank you for the clarification. Would you please vote? And it passes unanimously. The next item is ordinance 2024-332 CP, considering a comprehensive plan amendment change to the future land use category for Main Street downtown to manufacturing warehouse, 711 and 715 North Main Street and 114 West Union Bower Road. Shanae, is there anyone signed up to speak?
No, sir.
Are there any questions of the council?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Would you please vote? And it passes unanimously. Item number 58 is an ordinance is 2024-277 ZC, considering zoning change from CW Commercial Warehouse to SP1 ML20A District Site Plan Light Industrial 20A to allow variances to the interior side yard setbacks at 715, 711 North Main Street and 114 West Union Bower Road. Shanae, is there anyone wishing to speak on this one?
No, sir.
I'd entertain a motion from the council.
Motion for approval? Second.
We have a motion and a second. Would you please vote? And it passes unanimously. The next one is 2024-323 ZC, considering a zoning change from PUD to CN, Planned Unit Development Number 1, Neighborhood Commercial to PUD SP1 RAB, Planned Unit Development for a detailed site plan restaurant with the attendant accessory uses of the sale of alcoholic beverages for on-premise consumption at 4835 North O'Connor Road, Suite 100. Do we have anyone signed up, Shanae?
No, sir.
Any questions? I'd entertain a motion.
Motion for approval? Second.
We have a motion and a second. Would you please vote? And it passes unanimously. The next item is 9-1, I'm sorry. 8-1.
Somebody hasn't voted. These lights flash. There you go.
No, it passes. Okay. Item number 60 is 2024330ZC, considering a zoning change from R6 Single Family Residential 6 to SP2 R6 Generalized Site Plan Single Family Residential 6 to allow an accessory building with variances to the maximum height and minimum side and rear yard setbacks at 1214 South Britton Road. Sinead, do we have someone speaking with us this evening?
Yes, Edith Miller signed up to speak.
The applicant?
No, she's not the applicant. Are you the applicant? No. I know you're not, Ms. Miller. The applicant, the mayor's going to call on first, and then we'll take public comments. Just state your name and address for the record, because I don't have it written.
Good afternoon. My name is Samuel Castillo Jr. I live at 1214 South Britton Road, Irving, Texas. I worked for JP Morgan Chase for 8 years. The reason that I stayed my job is because last time I spoke, they kind of consider me a criminal. So I'm not a criminal. Anyone that wants to talk to me can talk to me at any time. I did want to let y'all know the reason that I'm here is because, unfortunately, I did, remodel a shed that I had on my backyard, and this is my first house that I bought, and I do apologize. I wasn't aware of no permits. As soon as I got notified, I came to the zoning plan, and I asked for the correct permits. As you see in the pictures that I'm passing by, are pictures about different types of sheds that are behind houses. These sheds behind the houses are way larger than my shed. There are 2-story sheds with car garages and possibly living areas. There's literally 10 within a 10-mile radius around my house. There's one down the street on O'Connor. There's another one by my house, literally down the road. So I'm not asking y'all to give me any type of special treatment. I'm just asking y'all to give me a chance to fix it and make it right where it's something that y'all can approve. I sincerely do apologize for my mistake of, not knowing about the permits. Like they say, knowledge is key, and I was not knowledgeable at this point. I sincerely wish to, come to an agreement with y'all if y'all have me, and, make it right. So if you have any questions for me, I'll be more than happy to answer them. I and my dad, created this project. I was also questioned on my skill sets by, the council of the zoning plan. And I don't believe that's not correct. Should I be dressed a certain way? Should I look a certain way? I don't believe so. So in my knowledge, if y'all want to put me to the test as well, I can do some services, community service, anything that needs to be done. They're all different. I'm a young man, growing, trying to make my life. And I duly apologize, for my biggest mistake. And, I also apologize to my community, to Irving. This is where I grew up. I was born and raised here in Irving. I went to Liberton. Now that I hear that it's being closed down, it's sad, but that's where I live, close by. So I just want to know what ways that I can make modifications to keep my shed, because it did, unfortunately, it did cost me my life savings, because unfortunately my neighbor had couple of trees that were leaning and basically tossed down my shed. So I had to pay out of pocket because my neighbor was going through a current divorce, so she couldn't even put in her insurance. So everything that I built in my back shed is mine. And I really hope y'all can consider giving me a chance to fix this and make this right.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Edith Miller?
Good evening. My name is Edith Miller. I live at 1225 South Britton. I have been a resident of Irving since 1966 and living in this same house with my parents starting in '66, and then my husband and I took it over after my parents passed. And myself and the majority of the neighbors oppose the zoning change and the already built structure. It is out of place for our neighborhood. There are no other structures like this, and it dwarfs the house. So it doesn't meet code. It's way too close to the fence line. It currently backs up to a vacant lot, but if somebody decided to build back there, they would have a large building to view and the worry of a fire hazard because it is very close to a back wooden fence. There is no other structures. There is nothing listed as to whether there's electric and plumbing to this that have been added, which would make it a livable space, which means that in the future, it could be used for rental space, which would complicate things more. If more people lived in that house, it's already got a full driveway. That means more people parking on the street than we already have. It is unfortunate that the owner has gone to the expense to build such a large building without getting the proper permits first. We do feel bad for him for that. But I myself and my neighbors that I have spoken with, and which I presented to the council their sheet of paper that was mailed to us, feel that it should not be allowed. That if he brought it down to a single level and reduced the size, and we were assured that it would never be used for rental property, that might be acceptable. But right now, it's just way too big for the neighborhood and could, if he sold it, the next one, we don't know what the next owner might do with the property, and that is the major concern of our neighborhood. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Shanae, do we have anyone else signed up?
No, sir.
John?
Thank you, Mayor. I have some questions for the applicant, if you could come back down. So one of the problems here is just the height is really increasing the amount of variance that you need, because if it had been built to, say, a 10-foot height, you know, I mean, the rear yard setback wouldn't even be a 50% variance required. The side yard would be barely a 50%, and I could live with that. For something a little smaller, is there any way that you could modify the building that you've put in place? And I mean, I've seen the picture, so I know that it's, you know, structurally, the bones of the building, it's fairly built out already. Is there any way that you could modify it to bring the height down into compliance?
I would have to take a loan. But my question would be, what kind of permits did the other approvals get? Because I would like to get that permit too. Because there's, my shed is only 1 story. Those are 2-story sheds. And this down the street, there's one literally on Delaware, and it's right there in the picture on Delaware, and another one. It's one of the first ones. You can see the car garage on the bottom, and there's like a little porch. That one's on the street from our house on Delaware, and it's a crossway. I forgot the other road. I mean, I could try to take a loan to make it come to, but it's going to take me a lot, and I'm going to need a little bit of time because I don't have the income right now because I'm paying my mortgage and everything. So I can try work with y'all, or if there's a way where I can meet the same requirements that those pictures, you know, show. I don't know if this is working. I can show you which house is the one that lives down the street.
I mean, it is working. I'm not sure.
And
We don't have all the information about
Understood.
what, you know, what happened there. And I mean, also with the, I mean, if the building were inset a little bit on your property,
Okay.
you would only need a 1-foot variance on the height.
the only,
Because the variance is required based on where it is in the yard, because it's so close to the side of the yard. So, I mean, I couldn't really speak to all the other properties in the pictures that you showed us,
Yes, sir.
because based on where they are, it could be just completely different requirements just because they're far enough away.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean,
if I may? In my survey, that's how I bought the house. The survey states that my shed is already in that location. All I did was remodel it. And in my shed, that's where it shows, that's where it's been, that's how it's always been. I didn't, it's not like I moved it closer. I didn't do anything. I just remodeled it. I repaired the shed that I needed. That's all I did, sir.
no, I understand. And I understand that you weren't aware of, you know, the requirements for the permits and all that. when you have a structure that 50% of it needs to be replaced, that's typically when pre-existing buildings no longer get grandfathered in.
Okay.
So that's kind of the pre-existing shed where, we've seen the aerial footage of, or
Understood.
aerial pictures, and so I understand it's in the same place.
Yes, sir.
So I'm not trying to make you feel bad for not knowing that you
Okay.
needed to. It happens. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find a way where I can support you being able to keep most of the structure. If you could bring the height down, that would reduce the, yes.
If I may, I can see if I can bring down the angle, but I'm gonna have to throw away my brand-new roofing that I installed and my new decking and everything. I can try, but I just need the time to get some loan and seeing if I get approved. I just got a brand-new truck too.
Yeah.
So I can try. I'm willing to work. I just don't want to lose everything that I invested into my house.
Okay. If you were to try to do that, what height do you think you could get it to?
I mean, right now, the slope of
Well, the other thing is, if you need time to figure that out, we can postpone, and you can come back once you have a better idea of what you would need. Because as the variances are right now, I can't support this. I could if it were modified to where the height is lower. And, I mean, if you're trying to get into compliance, the city can work with you to try and make that happen,
My question is, what would be allowed for Irving to work with? Because right now, I could try to level the slope, because right now it's a 6 feet drop. I could probably try to do a 2 drop. But if it falls on snow, the snow might be an issue later on. So,
I mean, for me, like, I'm not personally as familiar with, the construction side of things, so I couldn't really say. I mean, if you're amenable to postponing, so you can try and figure that out.
please.
And bring it back with some some reduced variances.
Yes, sir.
Because, I would hate to put you in a position where you have to lose the whole thing.
Yes, sir. Yeah, if you may, can I have a little bit of time to like investigate and, see how long it's gonna take and see if I can get approved for the loan? Because I don't have no money right now to back me up right now.
Okay. Well, if there's no other discussion, I would like to make a motion to indefinitely postpone.
We have a motion second. I don't know about the indefinitely postponed because this could go on for years.
Sure, okay.
And so you've got neighbors that are concerned now. I think if you're going to do something, maybe 2 or 3 weeks to get with staff so that they could see what they could actually do, and then look at it from that perspective.
Okay, then I'll amend my motion to the January 16th meeting.
Okay, any other questions, comments? We have a motion. Would you please vote? We're voting to postpone and meet with the staff and see what they can produce. And that passes 8-1. So the staff will be contacting you, and then you see what you can come up with by the meeting on January 16th.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay? The next one is ordinance 2024-341ZC, considering a zoning change from from R75 single-family residential 7.5 to SP2 R6 generalized site plan, single-family residential 6 with variances to the required setbacks, lot depth, lot area, and lot width at 1422 English Street. Sinead, do we have the applicant with us?
I don't know. If we do, they did.
Looks like we
Or do we have someone
Yes,
signed up to
looks
speak?
like it. We have nobody signed up to speak, actually. But that's the applicant, so please state your name and address.
Hi, my name is Efren Estrada.
Say it again.
My name is Efren Estrada. Address 1422 English Street.
Okay.
And I'm proposing to split this lot because it's a pretty big size lot, and there's already an existing house in the front. There's plenty of room to have another house, a smaller house on the back. And actually, there's like already an entrance on the side of the road. So there was probably already a house there before. So I'm come here to see if I can build another house in the back and split the lot into 2 different lots. And if this doesn't work, I will see if I can have a chance to see if I can demo the existing house and change the zoning to build a duplex. Is there any questions?
Any questions to the applicant? Thank you.
Thank you.
Discussion? Motions?
Motion for disapproval?
Denial.
We have a motion and a second for denial. Would you please vote? And it passes 8-1. So when I say it passes, it is not approved. Item number 62 is 2024-344CP, considering a comprehensive plan amendment change to the future land use category from compact neighborhood to local commercial at 801 Singleton Boulevard. Sinead, do we have the applicant or someone signed up to speak?
We have the applicant, Osvaldo Rojas, and then we have Maria G. Blank.
Hello, my name is Osvaldo Rojas, 2411 Skylark Drive, Dallas, Texas 75216. I'm here today to try to get this lot rezoned. I did speak to a few of you earlier today, and I tried to address some concerns about this location. It was very minimal concerns about this property as far as to oppose it. I have done my research. I believe they give you some packets, and we uploaded some images on this project. Now, the research that I've done, and the reason why this property has always been vacant, is because of the easements, the setbacks, the underground sewer. Everything that can go wrong on a project is on this property, except for what I want to build. The reason why there's an exception is because the research that I did. Anything and everything that I can build on the property, I actually designed it on my site plan. Now, there was some miscommunication when I applied for this zoning, which is why the zoning might need to be changed from the CN to CO, or keep it as CN, whichever way is possible. But the reason why there is no apartment or house or housing or the continuation of the apartments in the back is because no one wants to live on the freeway. And that's where this property is. It butts up to commercial land, which is 90% commercial in that area as you come in and as you exit. There were some points brought up earlier in the earlier meeting asking about the effect that an apartment complex would, or commercial business would affect the neighborhood in the back. Well, there are 17 letters in front of you stating that they're all for it because they don't want multifamily in that area because of the traffic noise. And 51 calls to service for Chief Miller's guys to go out there for domestic violence, shootings on the constant. I actually have the lady that's going to speak with us here in a second lives right behind those apartments adjacent to the property that I'm trying to purchase and build on. And they all state the same thing. They don't want to see multifamily there, and they are 100% on board with what I'm trying to build. The site plan that was given to you earlier shows office space for my businesses. One of the businesses that I just started with some pretty big investors, the company is called Confiar, which means to trust. Why is it called that? Because multimillionaires, to someone like me, growing up in the worst of the worst neighborhood in Dallas, coming from that to where I am now, it's major trust, major trust. I have one of my partners here, West Roofing is his company, which is what I want to put next to me in the same building, same suite. Commercial, not residential, no need for materials along the backside of the property. Anything and everything that we do is ordered, is delivered to the job site, multi-million-dollar job sites, not a $5,000 roof at someone's house. Delivered, and all materials that are left over are taken back to to the supplier. Credit back to our next account. Now, I was asked to speak about the problems on the land. The land has a pitch drainage problem. We need to install a retainer pond. Well, I'm all for it, 100%. $116,000 to $130,000 average just for the pond. That's not including my $213,000 slab of concrete to set something on and my parking. Add that with $500,000 build, we're at over $500,000, plus the $500,000 for the property, $1.1 million. I'm okay with spending that. As long as you tell me it's okay and that's what you want to see, that's what I want to build. Because no one else is going to be able to build anything else unless they go 4 stories high and try to do the same project that was earlier in the meeting, where there's a Marriott hotel going 4 stories, 5 stories up in the same footprint. In the same footprint, because you can't go further back, fire doesn't allow it. You can't go further out because fire doesn't allow it. So the only thing you can build is a 40 by 100 foot with fire going around the entire thing. Drainage problems, we spoke to planning and zoning officials. I believe he was here. He was sitting right over there earlier. Stated the same thing. You can't do a project on that land without a retention pond. An apartment complex is not going to spend that money. Any builder like me, at this moment, I am building flex space in Dallas. Can we get that up there, please? I believe you have a copy of the blueprint of the site plan. At this moment, I'm building a flex space because that's what's needed in Hutchins, right next to the penitentiary. I bought 12 acres. Can I put condos? Yes. Will they sell? Absolutely not. On this lot here, can I put condos? Yes, I can put condos. Each condo will cost me about $600,000. They need to be connected because it's multifamily, compact living, which means I can put 6 condos next to each other, but they have to be 3 stories high. Your height requirement of 30 feet won't allow it. Will someone purchase that? I don't think anybody will purchase a $1.2 million apartment in front of a highway. with one entrance only and one exit only because a fire won't allow me to put a driveway along the side of the property. Now, I have acquired 3 of the properties on that on that street on the north side of the property for the same reason that I was thinking that I was going to get denied this project. So what I was going to do is buy the entire block, take the houses down, and now there's no one to the north of me and try this again. I'd rather update those houses with the notes that you had earlier in there. You guys want to see revisions on homes, remodels on homes, so I'll buy those, remodel them, and put my guys in those homes. I'd rather see this project, sorry, let me take that back. Would you rather see me do this project there and have my house there, which means my home, my office for real estate and developing and coming to Irving? Because if you don't allow it, then there's no reason for me to build here. And you guys are, how many houses? 4? You need 4,000 houses here in Irving. Why kick out a guy that's trying to come in and build for you when all I'm asking for is to take a look at the facts? And the facts are, this is the only thing that can be built there, which is a real estate office and a commercial roofing company for our books. Any questions?
Questions? Thank you. Do we have anyone else signed up, Shanae?
Yes. We have Maria Blanc.
Good evening to everybody. My name is Maria G. Blanc, and I live right behind that piece of land in question. My backyard fence connects with the apartments that are closer to the Irving Heights Street. And probably around 6 or 7 feet of my fence in the backyard, I see the parking lot of those apartments. The rest of the property connects with the land in question. And every time we have a storm, real bad one, the backyard gets flooded this much. Even though I have a concrete, like little patio on the back, this much of water. Last time in May, the whole house was flooded, probably, I don't know, 2 to 3 inches. Every room, every single room. And I rent, I am poor. So the landlord will not help me. And I have renter's insurance, they will not help me either, because you know how home insurances are. Anyway, so, and I don't recall, I mean, any month that I didn't hear a shot. I mean, people firing arms, parking in the back, and having parties and loud music. My bedroom is in the backyard. If somebody shoots, I might get killed one of these nights. You know, and I never call police, I never complain, I just pray. But if this land, if he gets it, if he gets the permit, it will be a relief for me. I've been there this end of December, 18 years. 18 years, and I'm stuck there because I can't buy a house. So it will help me. I would rather have somebody conduct the business and generate an employment than having a lot of families having parties on the weekend and me not even being able to sleep. I work hard, and I'm old. I'm almost 70. So I need a piece of quiet, and I don't need anyone in my house. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
That's all,
Shanae,
Mayor.
do we have anyone else signed up?
No, sir.
Okay. Are there any questions? John?
Yeah, I just had a couple of questions, mostly to satisfy my own curiosity for the applicant. And I think you actually answered my questions, or really just one, in one of your comments. I was just really curious about looking at, you know, the site plan and where all the build lines and the easements are.
Yes.
You know, I didn't see, you talked in the planning and zoning meeting about, like, there's, you you could only build to that footprint. You couldn't have built anything bigger. You couldn't, and I didn't see anything in the site plan really preventing you from building to the back. But then you were talking about the fire department.
Correct.
Let you get that far back, and that actually, is that the reason?
That is the reason.
Okay.
Fire had question on access.
Access,
So two things, access and then water to any facility or any apartment. The plan was to have that building further back so I can have a bigger pond.
Mm-hmm.
The bigger pond is not needed, but aesthetically, the pond that you have here looks amazing, and it compared to it. I had to push the building forward to 150 feet because the fire hydrant is on the opposite side.
Yep.
It's either bring the building forward, right, and have that building with that dimension that far forward, so the fire, so it kind of confused me too, because fire asked me to put in 24-foot wide driveway around the entire building, and then a 30-foot turnaround in the front driveway, parking lot.
Yep.
And then they asked me to bring the building forward so the water can reach my building.
Right, yeah.
Correct. So everything that we
makes
modified
sense.
on the site plan was for fire.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. All right, thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, actually, I do have a question for, this is, I guess, for Jocelyn. I'll wait for her to get down. So when I was speaking with the applicant earlier during a break, and he was mentioning there was some discussion around whether it needed to be CN or CO. Can you speak to that? Like, what is CO sufficient for what he wants to do?
So I understand when staff was working with, it was his agent at the time, they had the discussion of CN or CO, and they had chosen to go with CN. So we did offer that. You can do the office in either, but they did choose CO. I'm sorry, CN.
CN.
Mhm.
Okay, so what he's proposing is absolutely allowed in
Yes.
CN. That'll be completely sufficient.
Yeah, CO is just more restrictive than CN.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions of anybody? I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval. Would you please vote? And it passes 7-2. That takes us to item number 63, which is 2024343ZC, considering a zoning change from SP 2 RMF 2 Generalized Site Plan, Multifamily Residential 2 to CN Neighborhood Commercial at 801 Singleton Boulevard. This is a companion to the previous one. Are there any questions of the applicant? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
Motion for approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Would you please vote? And it passes 7-2. That takes us to item number 64, which is ordinance 2024362ZC, considering a zoning change from SP1 detailed site plan to commercial park to SP1 CP detailed site plan, commercial park, and hotel uses with variances to the hotel development standards, parking setback, and the minimum lot coverage and heights at 500 West John Carpenter Freeway. This is postponed from the November 7th meeting. Sinead, do we have someone wishing to speak?
No, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor.
Okay, we have Sharon.
Mayor and Council, Manager and Staff, Sharon Barbosa Crane, 2608 Allenadale, representing the owner and applicant in zoning case 24362. To begin here, I'm going to simply read to you from your memo from your staff, because it is written so well about what we're trying to present that I think it will help us all. It says the subject property is a 1.9-acre tract of land previously developed with a hotel, which was demolished after a fire in 2022. The applicant is proposing to redevelop the property with a new hotel, and as the specifics are different from the original approved site plan, the proposal requires a zoning change for variances to accommodate the updated use and design plans. The original hotel was built in 1997 prior to the beginning of hotel standards, which started in 1999. A new hotel could be rebuilt in the same configuration as approved in the site plan in 1997. However, since the applicant desires to rebuild the hotel with a more current design and footprint and slight changes, rezoning is required. The applicant intends to build a 4-story, 118-room Live Smart Studios Hotel by Hilton Extended Stay Hotel, which is the newest Hilton brand. And I might add one that demands higher standards than previous brands in this same category and higher standards than what was previously existing on the site. The case was postponed on November 7th, and since that meeting, the applicant has updated the site plan by removing several variances. They now meet the ordinance requirements for lounge space, porte-cochere requirements, and recreational facilities, for example, have added 344 square feet for meeting space, and have 118 rooms. It meets the parking requirements. The staff from Traffic and Transportation, Fire, Water, Inspections, and CIP have reviewed and indicated no objections to this zoning request. The Convention and Visitors Bureau remains consistent in its support of the new hotel standards, but understands the issues here are unique, as this site previously housed a hotel property built prior to these standards, and did note the proposed new property is a new flag to the Irving market. The proposed hotel reflects this new Hilton line for the market. The new site plan does not add a hotel to the city's inventory, but simply replaces an existing hotel. Accordingly, staff can support the request. The staff recommendation is the ordinance be adopted. The P&Z recommendation is the ordinance being adopted. So in summary, we have this 1.9 acre tract that is asking for the same zoning that it currently has, with the addition of hotel uses, which is what is now required, as no zoning category has a hotel by right, but must come forward with a zoning case. This pre-existing hotel, built in 97, was destroyed in 22. The intent is to rebuild this new Hilton model called Live Start. Could build to the existing site plan without a zoning case, but could not build to the new model because of the Hilton requirements. The comparison sheet that you were presented shows the differences in the current site plan and the proposed site plan. And I'm going to just go over those very quickly for you. You have seen them, but let's look at this. The existing property was an economy class hotel. The proposed property is a mid-scale hotel. The existing property had lower room rates. The ADR max rate for an economy hotel is $69. The higher room rates that exist with mid-scale hotels are an average of $120. This means lesser hotel tax with the existing site plan, greater hotel tax with the proposed site plan. 101 rooms with the existing site plan. 118 rooms with the proposed site plan. It would have been 121, except we went back after November 7th and made some other adjustments to add to and remove variances which caused the need for additional space. A single bay fitness room plus an outdoor pool was the recreational area in the existing. A fitness room of 627 square feet plus an outdoor guest area of 680 square feet for a 1,307 square foot recreation area. No restaurant in the existing site plan, a snack shop with seats and catered breakfast in the current site plan. Lobby area, 500 square feet in the existing. Actually, it's less than 500, but it approaches it. In the existing and in the proposed, 500 square feet. The lounge area was much less than 500 square feet in the existing plan. It's slightly less than 500, but it adds up to almost 1,000 square feet when added with the lobby. Meeting space was 500 square feet in the previous site plan. a space which I will add to you that according to the owner's records was never used for this purpose. The proposed is a 384 square foot space, which is suitable for boardroom-type meetings. Nothing more than that, but nothing more than that is expected. A porte-cochere, yes, existing, and yes, in the Live Start style, which looks a little different from what you expect because this is a more modern architectural design that is expected under this Hilton model. The setback was slightly less than 30 feet. In the original site plan, the requested one is 17.5 square feet, I beg your pardon, not square feet, but feet. And the setback is 17.5 feet requested. The lot coverage was met the ordinance in 1997. It is 9% over of the ordinance today for 79% of lot coverage, which allows us to make the arrangements that we've made on the site plans. Additionally, I'd like to point out to you that these are local people. They live in Irving. Their companies have Irving offices. They have business, not just business offices, but businesses in Irving. They operate a number of hotels already in Irving and have for over 20 years. This is a quality offering. This is the kind of hotel that has become popular for layovers from the airport, for family travel, for certain types of business travel, for medical facilities. We believe that this addition, which if you don't accept, will not prevent a hotel from being built, but will prevent the modern quality new Hilton brand from being built. And so we think that as an improvement with additional rooms and the other amenities having been added to, as you have seen in the site plan and in the material that's been presented you, gives you an opportunity to approve this zoning case and allow this owner to build another quality product that we will be happy to have. And I want to conclude these comments, though I'm certainly here for any questions that you may have, and we certainly would request that you do as your P&Z did and as your staff recommends, and that's to approve this zoning case. I'm going to give you a personal anecdote, which I seldom ever do, but it's really important in this because I have a granddaughter who has had since COVID to seek medical treatment on a regular basis at MD Anderson in Houston because of a condition that required surgery and further treatment. We just learned yesterday that she's going to have surgery again. This will be at MD Anderson. She and her mother will leave early next week, taking time off from my daughter's job as a teacher, to go there during Christmas and have surgery. And they will do as they have done each and every time they have gone for medical treatment at MD Anderson, and that is stay in a hotel just like this that is in front of you. That is what these kinds of hotels do. That is why our hotel inventory should include those opportunities for people who travel and need space for whatever purpose. I think you recognize that this is an improvement over what would be built without this zoning case, and so we respectfully request that you approve it. And as I said, I'm here if you have questions.
Sinead, do we have any others signed up?
No, sir.
Okay. I would bring it back to the council for discussion. Al?
Yeah, I definitely can't vote for this. When you look at 200 rooms going to 118, especially that if we're looking for ability to have the kind of hotels along that corridor around 114 at the northern entrance to the airport, and the variance again of the from 5,000 square feet down, asking for 334. I mean, I'm looking for the Hilton Lives, I think they call it Live Smart. There's none like that along 114. Not that this should or should not, but it doesn't fit the numbers or the ability to have the kind of space that ought to be there as far as rooms and within that, I think that square footage of the lot. So I will not be supporting this, and I would move that we deny.
Do we have a second? We have a second, Dennis?
Yeah, I want to make a comment. It became very clear to me through this case that when we developed, or whoever developed the hotel standards, didn't really think about, and I just sat here and jotted down about 10 hotels in this city that if they were destroyed, they will not meet the hotel standards. So it's obvious to me that when they did the hotel standards, they didn't evaluate the hotels in the city to come up with a standard that will help cover these small hotels that once they go down, they don't have enough land to meet the standard. Now, to me, what you have done with your hotel standard is you've kind of created an unfair situation for a lot of hotel owners. And I can read the names of these hotels that I wrote them down. And that if every one of these hotels you have now, if they were to burn or be destroyed, say by a tornado, they cannot, no way, meet the hotel standard. That wasn't even thought about by whoever drafted the new hotel standards. And I think it's unfair to hotel owners like this person and the 7 hotels that I jotted down here. They're going to be in the same situation. So I think we need to go back and take a look at the hotel standard and then take a look at the number of hotels that you have in this city that do not have enough property to meet the hotel standard. So I'm going to support it because it's unfair to all these other hotel owners and who have been operating in our city, and these hotels are not suffering and they are full of people, but if anything happened to their hotel, they will not meet this standard. So we didn't do a good job of really taking a look at evaluating before we did these hotel standards. And I can give you the list of all these hotels. So I'll be in support of it.
Abdul?
Josh, so before the fire happens, it was having 101 rooms
Yes, it was,
before the building destroyed in the fire, right?
yeah, it was 121, I think, believe. Is that what it was? But yes, it was still less than 200 for sure.
Yeah,
101.
but this current UDC requirement, this 200 number,
Yes, I'm sorry, 101. Mhm.
that came after the building destroyed or before, or when was that?
So that was the originally built building from the site plan. I think it was 97, the original construction.
Okay. So is there a way that they could accommodate 200 rooms in that site?
200 rooms, I mean, they'd have to build up, they'd have to design for it. I mean, a 200-room hotel would be several stories, multiple stories.
Okay. No, I mean, my question is, if we are asking them to do 200, would they be able to do it with the current size of the lot?
No, I mean, not in the current standards. I mean, you can't fit, if they have 101 rooms in the current site plan, there's no way they could fit 200 because it's probably capped in, it is capped in footprint, it's probably capped in height, and I don't see any way to be able to fit double the amount of rooms.
So my question is, where is this 200 requirement came from?
Those are our hotel standards. Those are from the Unified Development Code.
So there is no grandfathered provision in there?
There is, but this burned completely. So again, it has the existing site plan. They could build back to that existing site plan, but they're doing something a little bit different.
So if we have to increase the number of rooms, can they be able to do more stories, maybe from 4 to 5 story?
That would be up to the applicant. And it'd probably be.
So I have a question for the applicant, whether they Sharon?
Yes.
So would the applicant do the 5-story to increase the number of rooms?
let's look at I think that it would depend on two things, how much more you could do. It would depend on, one, what would Hilton allow in building this brand, because they have their requirements. They have a minimum they want and a maximum they want, so it would depend on whether they want a hotel of this brand with 200 rooms. The second thing it would depend on would be how many you could get if you did a fifth story, remembering that, once again, that every time you build an additional room, it's the cost of building that room, plus knowing whether or not you're going to be able to fill that room at the necessary rate for it to be a profitable thing to do, or would it cause failure by building those extra rooms. I don't believe you could get 80 rooms in one more story. I just don't believe you could get that many rooms. But one of the reasons that you can get more than you had before is because they have enlarged the footprint slightly. That's the reason that you have a setback variance to enlarge it, and they've changed things around, and that way been able to add some of these amenities that they did not have before, and be able to use part of their recreation area in an outdoor area instead of a pool with the other type facilities. And they were able to add now 17 rooms. They had a few more, but when they enlarged those amenities, they took away the ability to have those rooms. But you've added 17 rooms to what you can build back, because you can build back to exactly what you had before. And that includes, if you had some variances, you can have them. Whatever size or whatever amenities you had then, you can have in what you build back. What they're doing is looking for a way to have better amenities, more rooms, and a new model that Hilton wants. So that, I'm sorry to have to be so long in answering that question, but it does depend on those two things.
Okay.
Number one, is it feasible? Number two, would Hilton allow it?
No, thank you very much for explaining. So I'm just trying to understand, I mean, since there is no way they could do 200 rooms, and if there is no way that they could increase the number of stories.
I will say this, if I might, Councilman Kabir. It may be that it might require another variance as far as setbacks are concerned, but it may be that you could add some rooms on the lower area and stack them, and get a few more rooms, but I don't think you'll get to 80. You might get to 6 or 7, something of that nature.
Okay. So what I'm thinking about is if there is no way they could increase the height or stories and these requirements cannot be met, then at least we have to do something on that property. We have to.
Well, I think the owner plans to do something. I think he just wanted to have a mid-scale product rather than an economy product, which the existing site plan lends itself to. You can tweak things here and there and maybe make them a little different or a little improved, but that doesn't mean you can change them into something else. And so I think what he was looking for is the ability to modify that site plan, add here and take away there, and increase the room number and do these various things and come up with a higher quality, a higher demand, and a higher price, if you will, product than what he would get if he just built to his old site plan.
I'm going to be in favor of this since it's been recommended by the planning and zoning and the staff. So I would like to put a motion to approve.
I've already moved for denial.
We already have a motion for.
Okay.
Al?
Yeah, when you start to talk about going up to the fourth story and where it was 3 stories before, and you start to then have some decisions what you can do. And you can go to 4 stories and have 75% or 79% of the lot area for building. Well, that's going to take you up, if you look at the numbers, up closer to 145 not 118. And secondly, I don't think this is a Hilton brand. This is a independent person that is hoping to get the Hilton brand. And so at this point, I stay with my position that this does not fit there. We want to have the kind of hotel along 114 that is one of our major corridors. That will be one that we'll be able to accommodate. Thank you.
Okay.
And I move.
No further discussion. We have a motion for denial and a second. Would you please vote? It's denied 5-4.
I'd like to make a motion for approval.
Hold on, give me a minute because I don't have a screen to look at.
Okay.
Javier Lamortis, Taylor.
Because when you start going above 4 floors,
Okay.
you now got to go steel,
Okay.
and that changes the whole thing. They won't be able to afford it.
Yes.
Should I?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh, I'm sorry, whatever
Yes,
you're.
I'm sorry. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion for approval.
Motion to deny pass 5-4?
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention. Long day.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I'm trying to figure where we are. Number 65, which is 2024413CP, considering a comprehensive plan amendment changing the future land use category from compact neighborhood to local commercial at 419 and 427 Maxwell Avenue. Sinead, do we have the applicant with us? Or someone signed up to speak?
Yep. Looks like it.
Can I second Dennis's motion for approval?
Mr. Dewey.
Good evening, Mayor Stouffer and Councilman. I'm Jim Dewey with JDJR Engineers, 2500 Texas Drive, Suite 100, here in Irving. I'm here tonight on behalf of the property owner that came before you in 2023 and rezoned this property to provide a medical facility that provides non-critical medical care. It's basically, they can come there and recoup from surgery if they don't have any family members or friends in the area that can help them and they need enough care to need some help. That zoning case and the building was kind of hidden behind a residence, and it didn't allow this particular owner to be able to increase his business. It was very limited in, I think, kind of the business plan. I think he very smartly bought the property between that property and Pioneer, and it allows him to build a little bigger building, provide additional services, and it's reconfigured to face Pioneer. It's not hidden in the back. I think it's a lot better project for both the city and the neighbors. It will have access only on Pioneer instead of Maxwell. It's very similar to the uses that are to the west, the Advocacy Center, and then there's another clinic, very similar type uses. So with that, I'd be glad to answer any questions you have. I'd like to, I'm addressing kind of both cases, the comp plan as well as the zoning case.
Any questions, Mr. Dewey? Anyone else signed to speak up?
No.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion.
Motion for approval? Second.
We have a motion and a second. Would you please vote? And again, and it passes 8-1. Next, the next item is 20. Losing my voice today. Yeah, 2024363ZC, considering a zoning change from RMF, multifamily SPCN, site plan, neighborhood commercial to SP1, R35, detailed site plan, two-family residential is 3.5, and short-term non-medical care facility, used to CO Commercial Office at 419 and 427 Maxwell Avenue. This is the same case we heard previously. If there's no questions of Mr. Dewey, I would entertain a motion.
Motion for approval. Second.
Okay, we're on a roll. Please vote. And two of us haven't voted. And it's not me this time. And it passes 8-1. Number 67 is 2024364ZC, considering a zoning change from State Highway 183 overlay and MFW freeway to State Highway 183 overlay and SP2 FWY, generalized site plan freeway with variances to landscape site design and parking requirements at 2701 East Grauweller Road. This was postponed from November 7th. Sinead, do we have someone to speak on this item tonight, this evening?
Tyler Rick.
Hi, good evening. Tyler Reek, 2700 Commerce Street, Dallas, Texas, 75226. This case is a zoning case that was spurred by a variance, or actually three variances that we actually requested initially. The postponement was us going back, working with staff, and minimizing our request to one variance on the parking requirement of 1 per 1,000 being changed to 1 per 1,500. We did provide a parking study of comparable buildings within the city of Irving as well as other cities in the Metroplex, which shows and demonstrates that our request is in line with what tenants actually need and not have buildings. There's actually one across 183 that we provided in our report here, where it shows you this is aerials taken over 4 points in time in Google Earth. This building is fully leased. It's a 300,000 square foot rear load building, similar to what we're proposing to build. And you can see there that the auto parking per the city's ordinance is overbuilt. So they end up actually using one space per 3,100 square feet of the building. What we're proposing here is 1 per 1,500. This case is actually two parts. One part was already approved in the PUD 6 final action through P&Z earlier this month. And so we're here to request the variance on the parking, and that is it for this evening. I will answer any questions.
Any questions of the applicant? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
Motion for approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval. Would you please vote? I think we got, we have to take the,
Is that for 67?
and it's denied 5-4.
It's 4-5. The pluses go first.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
So that takes us to number 68, which is 2024381ZC, considering a zoning change from R6, single-family residential 6 to SP1, detailed site plan for thrift shop to CN neighborhood commercial at 1220, 1224, 1300, and 1304 East Shady Grove Road. Sinead, do we have someone that wishes to speak to us on this item?
No.
Is there discussion? No discussion. Motion? This is number 68, the Dennis.
Motion for approval per the recommendations of the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Do I have a second? A motion and a second. Would you please vote? And it passes 9-0. Item number 69 is ordinance 2024-387ZC, considering a zoning change from ML 20 Light Industrial 20 to CW Commercial Warehouse at 2420 River Hill Road. Shanae, do we have anyone wishing to speak on this item?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Motions?
Second.
A motion and a second. Would you please vote? And it passes unanimously. Item number 70 is ordinance 2024-390ZC, considering a zoning change from SP1 CN detailed site plan for neighborhood commercial to HCD TMU Heritage District Crossing Transit Mixed Use, 220 Virginia Street and 220 North O'Connor Road. Shanae, do we have anyone wishing to speak on this?
No, sir.
Discussion. Brad?
Yeah, I don't know if you heard my comments earlier at a work session, but I was curious, what are these going to look like? What is the plan? Because we have some real nice ones around town. We have some not so nice ones. And so my goal, I think it's a great fit for this piece of property, but we'd like it to look good. And, you know, that's just my personal preference.
Okay. I'm Jim Dewey with JDJR Engineers, 2500 Texas Drive, Suite 100, Irving, Texas. We haven't had much discussion with the developer about the level or quality of what he wants to build. The only thing I can tell you, the other projects that I know that he's worked on, they've been very nice units. There's no reason not to in this area. But again, I can't tell you that we've discussed it. I can certainly pass on that it would be in everybody's best interest to build as nice a product as he can.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
Motion for approval.
We have a motion and a second. Would you please vote? And it passes 8-1. Next items are appointments. Kyle and Brad, you have appointments. The first 71 is for the reappointment of the city manager.
Item number 71 is I move to confirm the reappointment of Sandy Taylor to serve as commissioner on the Firefighter and Police Officers Civil Service Commission.
We have a motion and a second. Would you please vote? And it passes unanimously. The next one, Kyle.
Item number 72. I move that the following appointments be made to the City of Irving boards, commissions, and committees. Irving Flood Control District, Section 3, to reappoint Douglas Stephen, Chris Calvary, Srinivas Asanara, terms of office expiring January 2027. Library Board to appoint Gomnita Mark Banali, I'm going to mispronounce the names, I apologize. Place 4 to term expiring November 2026. Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone Number 1 to appoint Philip Harold to a term expiring January 2027 and reappoint Michael Awusamasi, Kurtna Travada, Joseph Forsh, Dick Rogers, I can get that one right. Term of office expiring January 2027. Zoning Board of Adjustments and Appeal to appoint Donna Jean Wall, alternate 4, to a term expiring November 2026, and reappoint Kevin Wolvler to a term expiring November 2026.
We have a motion and a second. Would you please vote? And it passes unanimously. That brings us to the end of our agenda, except for the mayor's report. I do want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. This is our last meeting of the year. It's truly a privilege for each and every one of us to be representing the citizens of Irving, and at this joyous time of the year, we want to send our best wishes to all families and as they celebrate the holidays. I always take this moment to recognize someone that went before us and spent a lot of time here. He was a pastor here in the city of Irving, Chuck Stevenson. Chuck served on the Planning and Zoning Commission. He worked with the youth. He was very involved. And when he passed, his wife gave me this tie to wear at Christmas time. And so he always wore it the first service on Sunday at the church. So in his memory, I every year wear this tie at the last meeting before Christmas. So great guy, did so many great things for our community and very involved and is truly missed. So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. We look forward to an even greater and more prosperous 2025. We stand adjourned.